Welcome to Real World Conversations. I am Sasha Thackaberry-Voinovich, and I am joined today by Susanne Madsen. She is just, she's an author, she's a coach, she's a former project manager who evolved into project leader, who now trains other project leaders and coaches professionals in this space. And I am so grateful that she is with us today to talk about essentially how to evolve from a project manager to truly embrace project leadership and be a project leader. So welcome. I am so grateful that you are here with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for speaking with me today. I look forward to the conversation.
Absolutely. And can you just give us the 30-second version of what you do with companies and individuals today?
Right. So I would say that I specialize exactly in what you said, in helping project managers to deepen their leadership. There are many project managers out there. There are more and more project managers out there because we have more and more change. And we need people to step into leadership for reasons we can get into. The world is more complex. It's no longer enough just to be a transactional project manager telling others what to do. We need to empower our teams. We need to connect. It's a whole different ball game when we're talking leadership than just management. And that's what I help people with, either individuals or individuals working for big organizations. Yeah.
So when you first speak with someone who is looking to really up their game and move into embracing, truly becoming a leader for their teams and evolving this from, as you were saying, transactional to more human leadership based, what are the first things that you talk to them about? What are the first foundational elements that you say are critical to that project leadership, are critical to the project manager really becoming a project leader?
Well, I think there's two elements you were actually asking about, because when I speak to them, I coach them. And so I start with a questionnaire. But the foundation elements, I think that's the training branch.
Got it.
I think you're asking,
yes.
I think one side is training and one side is coaching.
Right. So if say someone is really needing to sort of be coached, they have the foundational and they're moving into what is the first conversation look like? Is it a why? Is it why are you interested in this, or are they designated already?
My first conversation is what is working well and what is not working well. Where do you want to be? So coaching is very future oriented. So I say to them, if I coach them in March time and we have a conversation about what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, what feedback have they received, and what do they want to, then I future pace them. And I say, imagine you are December. Imagine I call you back in December. We've had 6 coaching sessions and now it's December time. What do you hope would be different in December? How do you hope that your actions are different, that your interactions with others are different? How do you hope you're feeling differently? So what is the internal change you wish to see, and what's the external change you wish to see? Some people want to be promoted. Other people, they want more confidence. It's very, very common that confidence is one of the items that people want to be coached on. And confidence is important for project managers. It's important for everybody.
Interesting. Now, do you find in those first conversations, do you find alignment between what folks, their perception of themselves as a project manager in the workplace, and others' feedback about them?
Yeah.
Do you find alignment or misalignment?
I find that there are, I do a questionnaire with them where the coaching starts with a questionnaire because that's where the self-reflection starts. So what are my strengths? What feedback have I been given? And so because I have many questions in that questionnaire, I see the pattern. So I see something would keep coming up, either about confidence or either about, it could be skills. It could just be that they feel they are new in project management and they don't know what they're doing yet. So they need some validation from me. Maybe touching upon mentoring and training a little bit, but they need some knowledge from me rather than an inner transformation. But I can see the pattern. I can see, because some of the questions overlap a little bit, I can see what what they come back with.
Interesting. And what happens next for you to really support them on this journey? Is it a plan? Is it tweaking what their end state is?
So actually, there are two ways in which I work. First of all, they state what the goals are with the coaching. It could be I want more confidence. It could be I want to become a better public speaker or better presenter. Let's just say something like that. So some skills and something internally I want to feel differently. And then I say, which one do you want to start with?
Right.
And we go through them one by one. I coach them through it. However, and I say this to them, invariably, one day when we have a session, something will have happened in the workplace. It's got nothing to do with your goals. Something has happened. There's a conflict. The project got cancelled. You've got a new sponsor. The client gave you negative feedback. So our nicely laid out plan with all their coaching goals, invariably at some point it will be put on hold because life happens.
Right.
Or it can be in their personal lives. Because when you start coaching, actually it's the same patterns that show up in work and in life. If I have a confidence issue, it will show up in my work and in my life. If I have difficulties voicing my needs and speaking up and setting boundaries, if I'm stressed, that's another big point that many people come to me with. I want to manage my stress levels better. It shows up at work and it shows up in your private lives. So when something happens, we put everything else on hold and I coach them through what is happening right now, because that's what's important.
Yeah, that just in time responding to the needs, right? Typically, as this process continues, do you see sort of a consistent progression? I would imagine that there's some differences between individuals. I mean, you're setting goals and they're starting from different places, right? How do those skills progress over time? Do you have like a hierarchy of specific sort of skills or competencies that you want someone to develop from their starting point and their goal?
No, because all coaching is individual. So I don't have a framework that I coach people through, because my coaching starts with the individual. So somebody who needs stress management coaching could be very different from somebody who needs to work on their presentation skills.
Right.
So they set, and I ask them to score themselves in a number of, but they choose the scale. They have the goals, and I ask them to score themselves. Remember the future pacing. Where do you want to be in December? Tell me everything you want to be changed in December. And then we can score them on a scale from 1 to 10. How confident are you today versus how confident you want to feel in December? On a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate your presentation skills today?
Right.
Well, 4. Normally it's 4 out of 10 when we start coaching, right? And when we finish, it could be 7, or sometimes it's like, no, it's not an issue anymore. It's so interesting because people come with something that is so big in their head, and we can tackle it within a session. Not always.
Right.
Depends, but it happens that they're like, oh, right. And I ask into it again. They're like, no, it's all that's resolved, and they're already moved on to the next part of life. And that's what coaching is about. That's why I do what I do, because I help people address their challenges. I help people feel more empowered. That's what it's all about.
Right. Yeah, and those are two very different examples of needs, right? Confidence in the workplace or stress management.
Yeah. So
different than developing presentation skills, right? Like those are almost entirely different domains. When you work with your clients to really embrace that leadership journey, how important is like interpersonal skills in the workplace as part of that leadership, or having those conversations that the project leader has in the context of projects? How important is that? How often does that come up?
Interpersonal skills all the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And actually, on the previous point, yes, there's a big difference in people who want, let's say, presentation skills versus confidence. But most people don't really know. I mean, they say, something is happening here and something is happening there. and I can sense that there are some deeper topics, but they can't verbalize it yet.
Yes.
Maybe they don't put confidence down, but I can feel it, or I sense it. So we also evolve, and because I've coached for so many years now, I can we do fall into different personality types. Some people really have difficulties expressing their needs. They have difficulty setting boundaries. They're the ones who end up exhausted because they take on other people's work. They don't want to overburden others, so they'd rather overburden themselves, or they have patterns where they are the perfectionists, so they take on more. They have patterns of being in control, so they don't want to delegate because they want to be in control. All of that leads to overwhelm. Yes. So people come with stress. There can be different reasons why they're stressed.
Right. And so you address the said and the unsaid. So the said is what they're expressing, and the unsaid is what you know about them because of your training and your background in coaching humans.
Well, and I ask into it, so it becomes it comes into the open.
Got it.
But you asked about interpersonal skills.
Yes.
So that always comes up. And emotional intelligence is a part of every single coaching trajectory. I might not label it as such, because what good is it to label something if people don't really know what it means? But it could be that they need to develop their listening skills, or their questioning skills, their ability to connect with others. I mean, almost everybody needs to develop those skills. And for me, that they are interpersonal skills. Because when we manage stakeholders, connect with team members, handle conflict, it's all about, how do I show up in the relationship with somebody else? Why do I get angry when my team member hasn't done what they said they were going to do? What am I going to do? Am I going to get angry at them? Am I going to freeze them out? How am I going to respond? So I need to begin to understand and notice what's happening inside of me, because I'm half of the equation.
Right. Yeah.
I can just blame the team member, but that doesn't really move us further along.
Yes. Yes. One of the challenges that I have observed when I have worked with project managers is escalation. So when a team member does not fulfill the work that they need to do, or are persistently late in deadlines, or there are dependencies that get held up, there are varying approaches to how to escalate that, right? Once you've tried to resolve it directly, if that's not successful. And I have persistently seen a reluctance for project managers to escalate because they're worried about the direct relationship with the individual. So how do project managers, how are they able to sort of figure that stuff out? I would imagine that in some cases it requires a relatively sophisticated understanding of the structure of their work around them, or the company itself, or the stakeholders.
It's funny because I coached somebody last week, and I asked him, what are some of the things you're doing differently now after we had module 1 of our leadership training? And he said exactly that. I escalate less. I feel more empowered to deal with things myself. I understand ownership, and I understand that I can be a leader in this. He'd never thought about it before. So how do we change people's behavior there, I think, is what you're asking me. Well, number one is always realizing. There has to be a realization first. There has to be this kind of, oh, there's a better way of doing it. And I think I want to explore this other way. Because if I'm stubborn and I say, no, escalation is the right way, I'm not going to change.
Right.
Luckily, most of the people I work with, they are curious about themselves, and they understand intellectually first that maybe there's another way.
Yes. Yeah. And then those relationship pieces, right? They're preserved, or they're developed, as opposed to being at risk.
And I can only help them develop those skills if I have a specific situation. It's not possible to learn this theoretically. It is not possible to speak in general terms. They need to come with a specific situation. So this person didn't do that. He's working in another team. It's been the 3rd time I'm contacting him. I'm escalating. In that moment, I can work with it, and I can say, okay, tell me about the conversation. What did you say? Did you ask him why? No. I'm making it simple, but
right.
what did you say? What did you ask? Did you express your feelings? Did you express that you were disappointed? Did you express what the impact is of this person not having done this? No, or whatever, right?
Right.
But through my questions, they begin to see what they perhaps could have done.
Right.
Are beginning to impact and influence their way of thinking about it.
Right.
And I can see their eyes go, okay, I'm beginning, it's still a bit muddy. I'm not really sure still, but I'm beginning to see that there is an opening for another way of doing it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that statement. There's an opening for another way of doing it. So I think that is a good moment to conclude on. I know our intention was to go a little bit shorter, but I just love this. And so I keep asking questions. Thank you so much for being with us today. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for having me.